remember what Soros tried to do to the British pound in 1992. He tried to short it. He tried to bring.
Let me ask you this: he's tried to drive down the pound. He's tried to destroy the U.S. Why do our elites put up with him when he would butcher them if he could? I mean, this guy's dangerous.
He's a multinational octopus. He's got so many people. He bought Human Rights Watch. He gave them $100 million. He's given massive amounts of money to Amnesty International. So what he's done is he's bought up the NGO community, the groups. I used to work with these groups. I won't have anything to do with them anymore because I see that they play into this propaganda. They help Soros bring down governments. Assad is the bad guy, but the jihadists in Syria, they're okay when a bunch of them pick up stakes, move to Cologne, and are raping as many German women as they could on New Year's Eve. This is what Soros...
Why does Soros have it out for Christians? And why did he enjoy ratting out Jews so much? I mean, he's just a filth. He's just filth.
Absolutely.
Well, stay there. I want to come back and ask you your psychological breakdown. Former NSA officer, high level, ran basically security at the NSA, joining us, breaking all this down. And David Knight's riding shotgun. I'm in Phoenix, Arizona. Just interviewed Louis Farrakhan. It's a bombshell interview. It'll be national news, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, the system has used our open form of government to infiltrate with hungry wolves that want to dominate us. They are attacking every sovereign nation, every sovereign institution that is not pure evil. They are allied with the scum of the earth. And quite frankly, people have the right to do whatever they want against this system because it's so lawless. Declaration of Independence is in place. But just because you have the right to do something doesn't mean you should do it. And people better think long and hard about George Soros and the globalists that are going to laugh while people have shootouts out in the middle of nowhere over land rights issues. We need to be in the info war, exposing they're coming for our guns. They're flooding us with radical jihadists. That's what Trump's having success exposing. To the point that I have Louis Farrakhan on video. We're going to release it very soon. I'm going to go meet with him again today as we were conferring on when we want to put this out, saying stop all Muslims coming into the U.S. right now. It's just over the top. And that's Farrakhan's scared. I'm scared. I mean, folks, you do not, I'm telling you, this is so real. This is so over the top. This is a setup. This is how America dies. This is the takeover. This is the big war they want to start. Now, Wayne Madsen, you got cut off by the break. Looking at this situation, Obama, I think, really is clearly trying to get people angry to do something stupid. Do you think they'll get away with a false flag, blaming the Patriots like Oklahoma City this time? Or what are you most concerned about? I mean, you've proven, and I'm not kissing your butt here, but it's true that you have piercing understanding of their tricks and how they operate. I mean, are they doing well right now, or is this all desperate floundering? Because their poll numbers are all in the toilet, but they don't care. They're just moving forward with craziness. And then, I'm no lionizer of the feds, but the feds we talk to and what we see leaking, the federal government itself appears to be completely freaked out about what's going on. It looks like self-preservation may be kicking in here. Am I wrong?
No, and I think the wiser heads will prevail here. The government had a lot of egg on its face with Waco, Ruby Ridge, and of course that happened under whose administration? We have to remember that was Mr. Clinton. So his wife's running for president. She's a lot closer, by the way, to Soros than even Obama is. So I think there's going to be an attempt to tamp this one down, because if there's another situation where there's a lot of bloodshed, it's Katie bar the door. All bets are off, and this is why I think the Trump phenomenon here is very interesting, and I think the sleeper issue here is one generally what he's talking about. There's too much political correctness, which gets into a wider issue of people trying to control public discourse. I recently noted that my mom's family, going back generations, helped start the annual New Year's Mummers Parade in Philadelphia. Well, a guy just got suspended because he had a sign in the comic division, and they always made fun of everything. I remember seeing that when I was a kid. The Mummers Parade would make fun of all kinds of things. He had a picture of Bruce Jenner from the old Wheaties box when he was an Olympic star. And then they had a picture of Caitlyn Jenner on a box of Fruit Loops. Well,
yeah, so even having fun now is illegal. I mean, it's just exactly free speech, big deal.
Yeah, so now this guy's been banned for life from the Mummers Parade. His family probably helped start it, going back generations. And now the Mummers, even the string band divisions have to undergo LGBT, BLT, whatever it's called, sensitivity training. Now, you take that, and there was a liberal arts school in Pennsylvania. The hall is
banning the lynch. Stay there. I'm going to come back. Wait, stay there. Back in 70 seconds. We're going to come right back to you. And we're also going to get to clips from Obama's gun grab speech that happened hours ago. We got 5 clips of that. The third hour straight ahead. Wayne Madsen, WayneMadsenReport.com, Infowars.com. Reporter got cut off by the break. We're going to come up in the next segment and play 5 clips from Obama's gun grab. Wayne, you got cut off getting into hardcore control of speech in America. But we've only really seen under Pol Pot's Khmer Rouge in Cambodia, maybe the Nazis, the Soviets, the Maoists. I mean, this is flaming tyranny, flaming beyond a cult, the control of language. And then they've got so many followers that actually get off on conforming.
Yeah, and we had yet another case recently at Oberlin, which is a very liberal school in Ohio, where some of the students, again, mostly affluenza, self-entitled rich white kids, were objecting to the fact that they were serving General Tso's chicken and it wasn't made according to the Chinese way. Well, General Tso's chicken never came from China. It was a contrivance made up by Chinese restaurants in the United States. So not only are these people being fascists when it comes to free speech, they're stupid as well. What happened in Pennsylvania with the Lynch Hall, named after a former president of that school named Lynch, it was a benefactor. They said, that means like lynching. These are rich.
Is the Attorney General going to change her name? I mean, is her Irish name evil?
Right. Yeah, exactly. How about getting rid of the TV show The Jeffersons? A lot of people want to get Jefferson's name because he was a slave owner. They want to get it off of things.
Even though he was trying to end slavery.
Yeah, but they started with this Civil War thing, and I had a real bad feeling that was not going to stop with a couple of statues and a couple of Confederate flags, that it was going to continue. And
by the way, I want to say this about Jefferson. Jefferson inherited people that were part of his family. I say slavery didn't even exist because they were still people to begin with. I'm not a slave, even if you say I am. And he had children. They say he was raping these women. They loved him. He actually, I'd say, went native and became basically the first black president, loved black people, tried to end slavery, and they wouldn't let him do it in the first Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. So they demonized the first guy that tried to really end it, and he said slavery's a great evil and will come back on us. And then they sit there and lie to people and say Thomas Jefferson hated black people.
Right, and I think there is an active measure, and it's funded a lot by these, not just Soros. See, there's a lot of people like Soros. He's got a lot of money. He's got a lot of exposure. But there is an attempt to reinvent history, and we saw that in the old Soviet Union. We saw that in Nazi Germany, how they tried to reinvent their own past, and I see that happening now. Hillary, for example, a couple of weeks ago, actually attacked a comedy club because they were making fun of her. Okay, is this what we're going to look forward to? And now, that means like, and we've had a couple of comedians already complain about this, and they start to sound a lot like Trump when it comes to this political correctness. I think this is a sleeper issue, because when people feel like they don't have the right to say what they want to say. I mean, it started with workplace being politically correct in the workplace. I
agree. People are pissed. They're tired of it.
Absolutely. And I think it's going to, we're seeing, I think it's an issue that is giving Trump this continued bounce in the Democratic.
I want to talk Trump when we come back and get, and also get David Knight to pop in here and play these clips from Obama. But separately, when I make the America's First Black President comment, Clintons are known to be racist. Clintons have no connection to black people. He puts some office he goes to once a year in Harlem. They claim he's the first black president. Thomas Jefferson had children with black women and preferred black people's company to whites at his home. That's well known, on record. He wrote about it. So if you want to say a white guy is the first black president, it's the third president of the United States. It's not Bill Clinton. I mean, doesn't Thomas Jefferson have a better claim than Bill Clinton?
Oh, I think so.
I mean, is Clinton having children with black women?
Well, there was a story about Arkansas.
So maybe he is like Thomas Jefferson. We'll be right back, folks. Infowars.com, Wayne Madsen.
While President Obama.
If you believe in the right to self-defense, if you believe in the right to be parents, if you believe in the right to private property, if you believe in the right to travel within your own nation, if you believe in fellow humans and are a fan of humanity, then you are my brother, my sister in arms. If you believe you're God, everybody else is scum, and you're going to transcend humanity and humanity's trash, you're my enemy. That's what separates this world. Those of goodwill, those of bad will. And the world is hurtling towards a crisis. The elite are cutting off the resources, claiming they're saving the planet. Whether they are or not, they have a hatred. Wayne Madsen, investigative journalist, former NSA officer, is our guest. Engineer, reporter, riding shotgun as I'm here on the road. David Knight will be hosting himself the fourth hour today as I prepare to travel back to Austin. David Knight is with us. I wanted to briefly bring David Knight and then give him a break until Joe Biggs comes up, and I'm sure have some comments for that at the bottom of the hour. Then I want to get to these other clips, but here is a clip from Harry Reid. I want to get Wayne's take on this as well. Obviously, after David Knight and others marching up, David wasn't armed. The Fed said, we're going to shoot you if you cross the line to take the Bundy's cattle back. And it's incredible footage. I think the headline is historic footage. Feds surrender to citizens. And they lower their guns and don't do it because they're special ops people the Feds actually brought in. They're like, we're not going to shoot Americans waving American flags with cowboy hats on over cattle we just stole from them. I mean, so they're not our enemies is my point. If a shooting war starts, that's the way it is. But, I mean, we're really losers if we let this happen. And then I just question the kind of black hole that is people just showing up claiming that they speak for everybody and running around claiming that I'm saying the Bundys are feds when I'm not. Boy, isn't that funny how that works. People speak for you. And MSNBC says I'm deeply racist, too. You know, and that giant wasp lives under the UN building. It's not true, folks. This is the disinfo going on. But here's that clip. We'll get David's take on that. Here it is.
Keep in mind what happened up there. There were hundreds of people from around the country that came there. They had sniper rifles on the freeway. They had assault weapons. They had automatic weapons. And as one of the former sheriffs from Arizona said, and we had children and women lined up because if anybody got hurt, we wanted to make sure they got hurt first because we wanted the federal government hurting women and children. This is the deal, and it's not a good one. So these people who hold themselves out to be patriots are not. They're nothing more than domestic terrorists. And I think that we are a country that people should follow the law. And what went up in Mesquite is not very good. I repeat, what went up there is domestic.
And again, I told David to take a break till he came back. He's already out of the studio, so we'll get his take on this later. But here's CNN then yesterday calling the three Bundy sons and the people there in Oregon who've just taken over this federal little warehouse, little barn that nobody's in, and are wanting to draw attention to what's happening in the cause. And I know the Bundys prayed and folks were ready to die back at their ranch. Well, now they're here, I guess, ready to do that. And I'm just saying this is really bad timing. And you know, that's America. I got my First Amendment. And I said, watch out for feds to infiltrate or pull something, which is a no-brainer, like the sun coming up. And boy, people said, Alex is saying the Bundys are feds. Oh, really? Produce that clip. Oh, but don't suspect who makes stuff up. Don't suspect who does that. Tries to cut you off from the main Patriot leader support. Oh, don't question that, of course. Oh, no, never. If we're this stupid, we deserve what happens to us. Wayne Madsen, again, getting back into this briefly. They want civil unrest. They're funding the Black Lives Matter movement. Has a lot of legitimate beefs, but their answer is federalized police. They're bringing in these new UN nodes under a strong city initiative. to basically federalize everything. I mean, boy, I tell you, this is quite a constellation of tyranny we're witnessing.